Hello, kiddies. It's your old pal, John Crusier, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Video Store Clerks Podcast.
Welcome to the store.
See, the problem was I washed my hands in the toilet after I pissed. So that's where the confusion was. Oh, hey, Internet. Welcome once again to the Video Store Clerks Podcast. We hope everyone had a safe, fun, and happy 4th of July. But we are back tonight. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, among other fun things such as the news, our clip of the week, conversations with these beautiful people, we will be talking about the 2023, in my opinion, instant classic, Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Hoult film, Renfield. It's rainy night here on the Video Store Clerks Podcast. We are your clerks for the evening. I'm Dave.
Chad, man.
I am Mike.
I'm Chuck. This is Whitman.
Beautiful, beautiful. So
Did you say Iron Mike?
Store,
Iron Mike Tyson?
Iron Mike.
This is going to be a fun one. We can't wait to dive in. We hope you're thirsty. So jump into the chat because the store is open. Hang out with us tonight. Oh, we'll get there.
You said thirsty. I just throw,
Oh,
thirsty.
Yeah.
thirsty?
Yes.
Thirsty?
Have a drink.
Sweet tea.
But first, ladies and gentlemen, we will start the program as we always do with the news. Holy shit, it's the news! Gotta walk the
It's a race she's been preparing for weeks, as Denise and I can tell you because we've heard a lot about it. But she joins us live with more on her preparation and the Big Damn Bridge 100.
Weeks? We're talking months for these 100 miles, guys. I've learned a lot of really interesting stuff.
All right, we apologize for that.
We apologize for that.
I'm really liking the news clips that you're putting in. That's great.
This
That's
really
all.
is a fun show. We're fun. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe for more. We do this every week. It's great.
Cool.
Well, making headlines this week, guess what? Jamie Foxx is alive and well.
Ooh,
As he was spotted for the very first time in public since his mystery health scare that happened, gosh, when was that? That was a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
It was.
But he was spotted in public, walking about, waving to fans like nothing happened. So this is good news.
It was just fake news. It's always fake, like everything else is.
Fake news. Everything's fake except for us. What you
That's
see is
true.
what you get with the Video Store
Yeah,
Clerks.
you can believe us.
Yeah.
You can trust us. Believe us.
Here's one we haven't talked about in a while. The box office. Box office results. Indy 5. Oof. Oof. Not good. Not good. It lost to Insidious The Red Door over the weekend, bringing in...
I saw that happen, though.
Yeah, 27 million. To put it in perspective for you, the new Transformers movie has done better than Indy 5.
Yeah.
There's a new, I didn't even know there was a new one. I've never seen any of those movies.
Yeah, I dropped out after the second one.
I actually love those.
Me
movies.
too.
Superman Legacy added a cast member. Nathan Fillion has been added to the cast in a mystery role, but my money is on Green Lantern.
I could see that playing some Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, maybe.
I think he'd be perfect for it. He looks just like him.
Yeah.
Isn't Deadpool like a thing? Like there's a new Deadpool coming out?
Oh,
Yeah.
Making a Green Lantern and shit.
Deadpool 3.
I swear to God, we
Deadpool
didn't
3.
we didn't do that on purpose. Yes, set photo was revealed just the other day of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the yellow outfit.
The classic yellow
Da, da,
blue.
da.
Yeah.
Finally.
So that's crazy.
Like the only
it's like
superhero
Wolverine.
movies I really give a shit about. Like I don't really care about. I love the Deadpool movies. Though. I'm excited about the third one.
Yeah, let's hope Disney doesn't fuck this one up. It's also rumored that Jennifer Garner will be returning as Elektra at some point during the film. That's all. I believe just today, the trailer for Wonka, the prequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, dropped. And I got to be honest, it looks like a fun kids movie. Not for me. It's not for me. I don't know if I'll see it, but I could see it being a fun kid because I believe the director that did Paddington actually did Wonka. And Hugh Grant is playing Oompa Loompa.
All right.
The look on your face, Chuck, says it all.
I didn't know this was a thing, and that's just funny. I'll probably end up watching it.
Yeah,
I got a little one.
I'll probably watch it because some days I feel like a little one.
Dude,
Wonka.
so true.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
I've got a golden ticket.
That's it. That's all I got because I want to get to Renfield. God damn it.
Oh, that was a quick one.
Yeah, because I want to get to the main course, if you will. This has been my favorite summer movie so far. This was a summer movie.
Yeah.
It was fast paced. I think it was like an hour and 33 minutes or something, but it flies through. It's funny. It's over the top. That's what it's all about to be. And speaking of over the top, it stars the one and only, the national treasure himself, Nicolas Cage, alongside fast rising star Nicholas Hoult. Sonic the Hedgehog himself, Ben Schwartz, is in it. Aquafina, we'll get to that. Directed by Christopher McKay, I believe, who's famous for Robot Chicken and something else. So, gentlemen, I'm anxious to hear what you think. I loved it.
It was funny. It was a good film from beginning to end. It's just one of them goofy ass action horror comedies, kind of like in like Tucker and Dale versus Evil kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You just laughing the whole fucking time. Like, I mean, I know I was, but I don't know about anybody else.
I was shocked at how much I liked it.
That's what I was going to say.
Whatever you told me, because I know you're not a Nick Cage fan.
He's growing on me.
See, I think Nick Cage right now is saving horror movies.
Well, this
Like
is
with
the
all
first big blockbuster movie he's done since Ghost Rider 2.
Yeah.
But he's been in so many like horror related movies.
From Mandy, Mom and Dad, like he's cranking out all these weird, pretty good horror films, and then this was, I didn't even want to like it really, but I did. I thought it was great the whole way.
You really can't picture anybody else playing Dracula in this film.
Mm-mm.
Right.
He actually that's actually something I really thought was cool because I'd seen trailers and shit how he looked. I was like, I don't know. But when they go back and they go to the black and white and they show you, they're reenacting the original scenes from the Bela Lugosi, and it's like, okay, I can see it now.
Well, they kept him just really traditional looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just love that they didn't try to modernize it.
Yeah.
They just, it was a modern movie, but they kept the Count as he should have been. And it was just, I don't know, super weird, but just fun the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I've seen these old black and white throwbacks, I was like, I kind of want to see what a film would be like if it was all black and white like this. If they did an old school style one,
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's what they were going to do because remember, I guess about a year ago when the set photos came out with him in that suit, everything was so exaggerated. You're like, oh, that's cool. They must be doing it in black and white because that would explain the makeup and the color of the suit and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the trailer came out and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And like Renfield is fighting like a goddamn Avenger.
Hey.
you know, I think almost the whole trailer was him in that bar, that fight scene with the chair and everything. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? This is going to be horrible. But man, I'm glad I gave this movie a shot.
It was fun.
Pleasantly surprised.
Real fun.
Yeah, no, you know, like I said, I really didn't know what to expect. You know, whatever. But like I did. I laughed the whole fucking movie. It is fast paced. The blood and the violence in it is ridiculous, but good. Like the way they did this was so perfect. Like,
yeah,
because I mean, with something like this, you almost kind of got to be careful, you know. Like you don't want to.
Well, the lore is there,
right?
And everybody knows the Dracula lore, and you know, so you can tweak it, but you got to leave it mostly intact.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they did. You know, it was like it took enough of the old and kind of just tweaked it enough.
Yeah,
you know,
well, you know,
like, changed it up with him kind of getting like crazy powers, eating the bugs, and you know,
right,
just you know, kind of superhero little sprinkle in there a little bit.
It was cool, like how they managed to do that to make it, you know, because if you didn't have all that, it would probably be a very boring movie. You know, like it's,
because you just have Dracula doing whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing there to stop him or nothing to, you know.
It's a cool idea, like to see like what that dude, like what. Okay, like what like let's see a little bit more of the story with that guy, because we've never really. He's always just been the guy that eats bugs. You know,
well, he's like his servant, like in the book. He's like it's like ghoul, like he's not a vampire, but he's just kind of like Dracula's servant, you know. And
Tom Waits and Bram Stoker,
right? And they just kind of amplified him up, or just like gave him more.
Gave
him more story, you know.
Yeah,
which
that's what I thought was good, because like everybody knows who Dracula is and stuff. Like even if you've never seen a Dracula movie or a vampire movie ever, which if you haven't, shame on you. But anyway, like. It was just cool seeing something from a different person's perspective, because he stayed true to Renfield's actual character. Like, because he, like you said, like he ate the bugs. He just got to the point where he was just so frustrated with Dracula, he wanted out and he'd do whatever.
Yeah.
And then it was just interesting seeing their take on his helper's viewpoint.
And it is an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And that's what.
I love the whole aspect of the meetings, like the support groups and shit. Like, okay, all right. I mean, they really did, like the script was really well done. Like it really was. My only issue was I didn't really care for the woman.
Aquafina.
That's what I say. Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, well, I'm sure we'll get to that. I mean,
she didn't make sense.
It was a weird subplot, I guess. I mean, but I mean, I don't know. I guess that it had good. My problem with like Aquafina, the actor, is that she's playing the exact same character she played in Shang-Chi. These are the only two movies I've seen them in, but she's played the same character in both of them. Yeah. And I just think she needs to get away from that ASAP.
I just don't really personally think that she, like, I mean, one. Well, I mean, I know you got to add a love interest or some shit. That's just how that goes sometimes. But they really didn't need to.
I mean,
they really needed to. I mean, they really could have broken away from that whole aspect. And also, she's annoying. I really didn't believe her to be any of these things. I just saw her as, oh, this is that girl comedian who sucks. I don't really know anything. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, is she a stand-up comedian or some shit? Like, I don't. She just comes off. She doesn't come off as an actress. She comes off as a stand-up comedian being in a movie, and if that makes any sense. And I didn't really care for her much, but that was just a small piece. Everything else I was fine with. I don't think it was enough to really like. It didn't change my opinion of the movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, honestly, like, let's be part of the fucking honest here. When it comes down to it, like in a Dracula movie and something like this, like, you know what? We're not going to. I'll take it back. We're going to move on. Because I know if I say whatever's going to, I'll tell you after we're done. Because I have no idea what I say is going to sound like the worst fucking sexist, and I'm not trying to be. So we're gonna just continue. Tell us.
Right. Well, I guess the whole thing was her father still looks over her as similar to the way Dracula looks down on Renfield. There's kind of that back and forth, I suppose. I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, but like her father is still, it's still a part of her life. I don't know how to explain it.
He's dead.
They could have done that with a
I know he's
actress.
dead. I know he's
That's all
dead.
I'm saying.
I know, but I'm
Could have done
just
with a
saying.
different
Wait,
actress.
how did they have?
All right,
Wait,
fine.
how did
Get a
they have
different
back
person.
and forth?
No, she's trying to live up to the expectations that she thinks her
Yes.
father had, the same way Renfield, Dracula.
Get an
That's what I'm
actress
trying
that
to
can.
say.
Get
I
an
couldn't
actress that can
articulate that. I'm
act.
sorry.
Get an actress that can act and is easy on the eyes. And instead of what we got, sorry, didn't really like her. Couldn't stand her. Doesn't make sense for a Dracula related movie. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, like with me, it didn't take me out of it though. It didn't bug me that much.
Bug you?
Bang bang.
No, she. Luckily, they limited her screen time. I think. I don't think they overdid it, but yeah, she didn't really bring a lot to the table. She was just kind of that bridge between him, the real world, and Renfield's world. So,
Yeah.
you know,
A bridge. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
there you go.
I'm having trouble tonight.
Yes.
You have trouble every day.
And Ben Schwartz has one of our villains. Over the top as always, and that's when he's at his best.
Teddy Lobo.
Teddy fucking Lobo. All right.
Oh, I was just I was.
I'm trying to
I was
remember.
just going-
I'm trying to remember his face. I can't remember his face.
How do you not remember his face?
His intro was pretty good too. Whenever he fucking just speeds off and then he's fucking running down the, he like gets out of his car and he has like a dozen keys in his hand. He's like,
I got a prescription for this shit.
I see the scene. I can't see
Is
his
he
face.
throwing
Who is he
drugs at
fucking
us? She's like, is it? It's Teddy Lobo. Are you sure? I'm Teddy fucking Lobo. Yeah, I'm sure.
with? I don't know.
Well, that whole fucking scene cracked me up. And then he's like, no one's even in the room with him in the interrogation. He's just fucking admitting to every fucking thing,
Yeah.
spilling his fucking guts. And then his lawyer comes in. He's like, I didn't say shit.
Yeah, he was a
Teddy
great
fucking
comedian.
Lobo.
That guy. Okay. Yeah.
The son. Yeah, he was a great comedic element in this film. You know,
He was annoying, but it was okay. He was supposed to be.
Yeah.
that's
he's supposed to be.
that's
Yeah,
the character he plays. You know, in Parks and Rec, you know, all kinds of different other, you know, shows and movies. You know, that's his kind of his MO, and you know, he nails that character perfectly, I think.
Mm-hmm. So the casting for this movie is like you can't get any better than this. And Nicholas Hoult as well, who's an amazing actor, and man, he plays off Nicolas Cage. So that scene when they're in the apartment,
Yes,
that's one of my favorite scenes of the movie, and it's just them talking.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was great whenever he walks in, he sees him sitting there, and he looks down at the floor mat and it says "Welcome," and he's like,
Yeah.
Shit. I thought that was pretty clever, actually.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of clever moments when it came down to their conversations and shit, and they're just being around each other. What's old Renfield's name again? What's the actor's name?
Nicholas Hoult.
Okay, yeah, that guy. Yeah, he is a good actor. His face has always bothered me, but in this movie, he didn't annoy me too bad. Like he was really good in the Menu. Really enjoyed him. Like he played a really good asshole in that one. And he I don't know. He's kind of showed another side to him besides. I mean, I don't know. I liked it. He didn't know me. Didn't bother me. He was kind of like, all right. The Renfield I kind of figured it would be in a kind of movie like this.
Yeah,
he was
one of the front runners to be Superman, and I'm glad he didn't get it.
Nah.
I think he needs to keep
did.
doing movies like The Menu and like Renfield, and keep doing movies like that. I think.
Yeah.
So
Not that
because
I
he
really
was-
cared as Superman, but
Yeah, he was in Mad Max. He was in X-Men.
he wasn't that bad. He plays
Day-
yeah.
Days of Future Past or whatever. But I think his first big role was that Warm Bodies, where he
Warm
played
Bodies.
that zombie.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot that was him.
Yeah, so did
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
It always reminded me of like a modern version of Bub from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually isn't a bad movie. Me and my ex used to watch it all the time. One mother. Yeah. It's actually got some funny stuff too. It's an interesting take on, it's like, oh, okay, from the eyes of the dead. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Not a bad movie.
Zombie romance.
It's a good movie when you're with somebody. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that too.
And I believe Nick Holt is scheduled to be in the new Nosferatu film as well.
Is that actually happening?
What's that?
It's supposed to be an Aaron Eggers movie. White House and
yeah. Okay.
Would you ask Dave? I
forget. Oh, who's he gonna play? Who's he gonna play?
Does it say?
Just curious.
It's not Count Orlok. Talk amongst yourself as I look this up.
Talk amongst yourself.
Is that the one Willem Dafoe's supposed to be playing Nosferatu?
I don't know. I don't even know. Are they even?
No, he'd be great though. He'd be great. Talking about Shadow of the Vampire. Yeah, I love that fucking movie. Actually,
I mean, I didn't know about this Willy Wonka prequel, but it happened. So who knows anymore?
Very true. They be putting shit out left and right. It just sneaks up on you.
And unfortunately, Renfield didn't do that well at the box office. It did go up against the Super Mario Brothers movie and John Wick 4. Unfortunately, that was a big mistake. But I think it had a budget of maybe around 60 mil, and I think it only brought in like 26 worldwide. But I think word of mouth helped this movie out a lot because it's streaming on Peacock, and a lot of more people have been talking about this movie since it went over to streaming. It's just unfortunate it went up against those two movies and it just wiped it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the new Nosferatu, he's going to be playing Thomas Hutter. And I guess his wife is Ellen Hutter, played by Lily Rose Depp.
Huh. Oh, nice.
So, and then you got Count Orlok is going to be Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, maybe.
I can see that.
And they also have Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, and Aaron Taylor-Johnson lined up for that film as well, coming out next year.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Nosferatu, like the original and all that, and just the whole thing about it. So, I'm pretty much excited for whoever plays it.
There's not a whole lot of vampire movies or Dracula movies that I have not seen.
Right.
I think ever since what?
I was going to say, how many of them sucked?
Quite a few, sir. Especially that Dracula Untold nonsense.
Oh, yeah. That and Dracula 2000.
Oof.
Not good. Not good.
What was I going to say?
You tell us.
I don't know. I lost it.
Find it.
I mean, speaking of that, this is.
Oh, now I remember.
When was the last vampire movies that really kind of came out?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't even say it.
I don't know.
I mean vampire movies. I don't mean grow little sparkly little bastards. I don't mean that shit.
Vampire movie.
When did the last Lost Boys go straight to video? When was that?
Is that even
2010 maybe, but yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
No.
Those were two sequels that never needed to happen. It was just a Frog Brother payday.
I can't think of another one.
I'm
sure there was. I just can't think of it.
There's been a few, but nothing that really stood out. I can't really remember. Just some shit that on probably Shudder or Pluto or some dumb shit. But if you watch anything on Pluto or something like that.
Well, I mean like big movies that have come out really that are vampire related.
No, not really.
I
think the last one that went to theaters was probably Dracula Untold. That I remember.
Probably. Yeah.
I saw that piece of shit in the theater.
I did too.
I did not. I rented it at home.
Lucky you.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Either way, you waste money.
Yeah.
Dracula.
I mean, you can really do a lot actually with the vampire tale, you know what I mean? But nobody wants to do anything with it. Everybody's too afraid to do certain things with with the vampire stories and shit.
What was so good with this?
Hmm?
What was so good with this is just because Nick Cage is a huge Dracula fan.
Yeah,
So, like,
he knew his shit.
Right.
Knows his shit.
I don't know why they don't start using cast members that are really interested in a project like that too.
Right. Truth.
I think whenever I was rewatching it, I thought to myself, I was like, the only thing that probably would have been better than seeing this film is seeing Nick Cage prepare for this film, because I can just imagine him just sitting around the house like,
yeah,
oh yes, I am Dracula. Just try to perfect it, and I think that would have been so entertaining to see.
He said all he really did was just watch old Dracula films like the originals, and then he watched like all the Bela Lugosi stuff.
Yep.
Like
That's all you
he
got to
watched
do.
everything.
The blueprints right there, man.
And then even Nicholas Hoult, like he even said he watched a shitload of like the 1930s Dracula, and then he also spent a large amount of time training and stuff to do all his fight scenes and his stunts. So he like took a bunch of like Taekwondo classes and all that shit.
Oh no. I think that's what surprised me of this movie was the action sequences.
They were great.
Were actually really good, and just like they were over the top with just like ripping arms off or whatever. But they flowed well and it worked. Like it was, I don't know. That was a welcome surprise to me. I knew they would probably be in there somewhere, but not the way they were. It was I thought well executed.
Yeah,
it
really was, because at first it annoyed me.
Well, I just didn't
like. At first, I was like, "Oh, just give me those action things," but like, I was hooked. Like for a split second, I was bummed, and then the agent, I was like, "All right, this is pretty cool."
I just didn't even want fight scene in it.
Yeah,
I was like, "This is like Dracula shit." Like, there shouldn't even be maybe a fight scene, but once they were in there, I was with it. It was.
Well, that's what I was saying about with them actually like taking it with a whole different character and doing stuff from Renfield's point of view.
Yeah.
Because you could do a whole lot more with the Dracula movie implement. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can show a whole different side.
We've seen all kinds of different incarnations of Dracula. And we've seen very few of Renfield himself.
Right. It was a fresh idea. Like, I think Robert Kirkman came up with the idea, the whole premise of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then he just wanted to see something done differently with Dracula. So then he just kind of came up with a storyline, and then everybody got along and hooked it up. Really fucking sweet.
There's Dwight Fry. Dwight Fry is Dracula from 1931.
Renfield.
What? Renfield.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Well, I mean, from the movie Dracula.
Right.
Yeah. That's such a good one.
There's no seen that.
Yeah, me and my son watched it about 4 or 5 months back, and he was kind of bored with it. It was one of the Universal movies that it was a little too slow for him.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was cool.
Always one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's good shit.
That's what sucks, man.
Always creeped me out. Everything about that movie always creeped me out. I always liked it. The way Renfield is in it, he just I used to when I was a kid. He says, "How about Dracula?" It's like he was cool. But he didn't bother
because he was different.
Everybody else freaked me out.
The old Renfield was different. He was, he was in an asylum and everything like that. And he was like, yes, and this was a more
coming.
Yeah. This was a more modern take and a more relatable thing, especially for people, that they can understand how it is being in a toxic relationship and things like that. So it was relatable, and yet it had all these elements of horror and comedy to make it so entertaining and fun. And like you guys said, it was kind of a surprise. I went into it, and I think this helped setting the bar very, very low. I didn't have any expectations for this film whatsoever. I'm just like, all right, whatever the fuck. And went in and I had a good time. It wasn't, the greatest film I've ever seen. And I probably won't go back and watch it again. Maybe once in a blue moon, maybe. But it's definitely worth a watch, like one watch. I'm not saying it's you said a classic, Dave. I don't know if it's a classic, but it's very entertaining and enjoyable.
And with me, that's all I ask. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to hear about the political shit. I don't want to hear about all the woke shit and all that. Man, just fucking entertain me. That's it.
Yeah.
And this movie did that for me. So yeah, that's why I loved it so much. It was a welcome surprise, especially with modern movies anymore. It was a welcome surprise.
Oh yeah. I
Go ahead.
I don't longer remember what I was going to say. Go on.
I don't either.
Man, that's going around tonight. God damn.
What the fuck's going on? Oh yeah, I forgot.
I forgot.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck, I did forget again. I had something again and I lost it.
You
Great. Damn.
We're doing really good tonight, guys.
Yeah, we're on a roll.
Like I said, we're real. This is raw and real. People forget shit.
That's rude.
People forgetting shit.
No,
That's the title of the episode.
I always like the beginning too, like the first, like what I think that's the first actual like fight scene you see whenever he goes to chick's boyfriend's place of business, and they think he's there to get the coke back they just stole from Tony fucking Lobo.
Yeah, they think he's the fucking hitman that's showing up to fucking take him out, and he's like, "No, I'm something worse. I'm Caitlin's friend."
Yeah, they just started laughing. That part's funny too. Whenever she's talking about her boyfriend, and she's like, "And he loves ska," and the one guy's like, "I fucking hate that shit."
Oh, that whole thing with the ska, yeah. Yeah, they kept bringing that up. I thought that was funny too.
Ska is not dead. Jesus Christ. And then the real hitman shows up, Apache Joe.
Yeah, he cuts out people's tongue. He can call himself whatever he fucking wants.
Yeah, he cuts people's tongues out. You tell him his name's fucking racist.
He fucking stabs him in the neck, and then he ends up punching his fucking head off.
Oh shit!
See, I love it. It's funny.
They even said that fucking Holt even went around and was like, they made a bunch of like a shit ton of like silicone bugs and shit. So like even before like preparation for the movie, he would just sit around eating like real bugs and gummy bugs. Like he was eating like real crickets and shit. Like just to get used to eating fucking bugs. I'm like, that's kind of extreme, but all right.
Was that really necessary? I mean, they couldn't have done anything else.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Dedication.
I mean, bugs aren't that big a deal.
Protein.
Come on. I used to eat handfuls of crickets for money in high school. Okay. In science class. No bullshit. Yeah.
Hey, Joe Rogan. Hey, Joe Rogan. Yeah, you got any more of them bugs? Was he eating the testicles, the bull testicles or something like that? He's like,
oh, yeah, it was the bull's penis.
Yeah.
Oh, man. See, I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
Got any more of that, Joe Rogan?
You're talking about Fear Factor?
It was when Chappelle parodied Fear Factor.
Oh, okay.
Great shit.
Bust out the hot sauce.
Busting out the hot.
Yeah, I hated the trailer. I'm still mad at the trailer for being kind of misleading like that, but still, I'm happy. It was, like I said, it was a pleasant surprise going to see
because it's not really like Nick Cage was the star. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
Because you only probably see him for maybe half the movie.
Yeah, that was the way to do it, though.
But like him, like his him portraying Dracula, though, like he did a really good job, I think. Like that's what I was saying. Like that whole character like seemed like it was actually just written for fucking him, just the way he acts.
Yeah.
And you could tell that he was loving every second of it. You know, he was enveloped in that character, and he was just going all out. You know, having a blast the whole time. You could just see it on the screen.
Right.
I mean, it's a pretty interesting idea of like, you know, you never really think about like, what if Dracula was, you know, hiding around somewhere in our time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, he's all fucked up in a sewer. And, like, I don't know. It's kind of a cool idea.
Fucked up in the sewer. That's Michael Myers. You got the wrong franchise, buddy.
No, Renfield's a good movie.
Not going there.
Right.
We'll never go there again.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I think this was supposed to come out a long time ago. It was supposed to be part of Universal's old oh shoot, what they call it, the dark something, the Universal dark.
Oh yeah,
where they were bringing back the Universal monsters, but then Tom Cruise's The Mummy didn't do so well, and that held it up a little bit. But Robert Kirkman pitched this idea, and a couple years later, here we are.
Yeah. When it comes to redoing the Universal monster movies, so far it's not done very good. But this was a cool idea that takes place with a movie that has to do with that.
Yeah, like in that universe,
right? So and this was a fucking action comedy horror movie. You know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't. I don't know. The Mummy took itself too damn seriously. It was garbage. I didn't finish watching it.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah, it was not good. And then that Invisible Man piece of shit movie.
Oh shit, I forgot about that one.
I forgot about that too.
Fuck that movie.
No wonder
it was easily forgettable.
Yeah.
But that's another one where that was way too serious, man. That was way too serious
God,
with the Invisible Man, and
they took
this
one
is
of the
probably
funnest,
the way to go.
Yeah, they took one of the funnest characters in the Universal, monster like shit, like like the Invisible Man, and made it too fucking serious in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like this shit's just depressing. Like
crazy though. Like
they make him an abusive boyfriend. Like,
well, but if you go back, all right,
but like he's like, but I don't know, but like it's I fucking hate it. Did you like it?
No, I didn't like it. I'm just saying that movie's got some
garbage
themes, and you know what I mean. So it could be a serious. Because to me, if you go back to like Hollow Man, I think that movie is a decent take on the Invisible Man.
Yeah,
and it's serious, and it's kind of campy now, but it was shot serious, Do what?
But it wasn't going as the Invisible
Man. No, but it's still a take on that. I mean, it's the same shit.
I don't know. I think it's bullshit. We all know
bullshit. But yeah, his take on Dracula, I think, was perfect. I mean, because Bela Lugosi and even Gary Oldman probably already did it perfect. So there's no sense in trying to play it that way.
Yeah.
Might as well just do your own thing. And I think he nailed it.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, even the wardrobe, it looked a little crazy, but I liked it.
But it was
in the long run.
That's what he would wear.
He even had the gold and ruby medallion that had the portrait of Vlad the Impaler in it, and it was just great.
All those little Easter eggs, for the people that are actually fans of Dracula and the history behind it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that.
For sure.
Indeed.
Is there a delay?
God damn it, man! I know there's a delay in my fucking mind tonight.
Oh shit!
God damn. Because I had another point I was going to make and I lost it.
Dracula.
I gotta go.
What movie are we talking about?
Is he walking off the air?
Are we doing 2005's Fantastic Four tonight?
No.
Oh.
Definitely not. God damn you.
Shit.
Another person I want to give props to that doesn't get enough credit in films is Shura Agdashlu. Is the I almost fucked up that name. Oh, actually, I fucked up that name. But she's the mom of the matriarch of the Lobo family, and she's been in all kinds of different shit. I think the first time I remember seeing her was in 24. Do you remember that, Jed? Remember her from 24?
Not really. I know she looked familiar, but I didn't know what I saw her in.
That's
she was she was. Remember Beirut from 24?
Not really. What season?
God, I can't remember.
I know, Jess. I'm sorry. I'm just having this series of brain farts tonight. I don't know what's going on.
This is what happens when we miss a week.
That's what it is. We missed a week. I'll blame it on that. I'll blame it on the holiday.
We have to get back into the group. But no, she's a fucking amazing actress. And she's got that. her voice, is just so recognizable and so enchanting, if you will. She played the matriarch of the Lobo family with very great. I think she's just one of those ones that doesn't get enough credit. It's like people don't know her. Maybe they can't fucking pronounce her name, and that's the problem. They're like,
you should get a stage name.
Excellent. Right on the money.
I still want to know what the fuck was going on behind that sheet whenever fucking she calls Tony to go downstairs. And like you never really know, but then you hear somebody say nice, even long strokes or something like that. So you're like, what the fuck's going on back here?
Use your imagination.
Either people are getting busy and they're filming some adult movie, or fucking someone's getting sliced the fuck open.
I think that would be the safer bet.
Or painting.
Painting. We're back here painting.
Back
Where's
here
my
portrait?
Where is
That's
that?
paintings.
I thought that was a cool idea of like having the family, like the mobster, the gangster kind of tie in. I thought that was, I don't know, just an added bonus for me.
Right.
You know, I mean, digging on like gangster flicks and shit like that, like it's just a little bonus. I thought that was cool.
It was also kind of like an old school thing too when it did that, like because there for a while back, like in the '80s and like early '90s and shit, like every movie had the mob in it. They kind of just went away for a minute, and now we got a little bit more mob to it. I don't know, right? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, like
And now,
a modern mob.
Now Dracula has decided he's going to dominate the world, and he wants to bring on this mob family to help him raise an army.
Because of course he does.
Of course.
What else would he want to do?
Yeah.
I mean, a vampire mob. Where's that movie?
Right. It seems like that.
That'd be cool.
That whole scene's too funny too, because like Mike said earlier before we got on the air, whenever like Tony's in like Dracula's little dungeon or whatever, and then like he's scaring the shit out of him, and then he's like, "You need to meet my mom. He's like, she's pretty fucking evil." And then he starts laughing. He's like, you gonna fuck me up or?
He's like, "Are you happy? Are you happy? Or are you gonna fuck me up?"
Scenes in the movie for me.
Yeah,
it's just like that little scene's like that just got me the whole. You know, one of the funniest scenes to me was that.
Yeah,
it's like, you guys kill me.
I think if I had any complaints about the film, the over the top fucking shit, I don't know, it was a little bit much at points. You know, because
like the fight scene at the apartment building.
Yeah, I bury every other fucking movie for having terrible CGI, and I have to do that on this one too. But I think that was the point with this one, was it's supposed to be over the top, silly. It's not supposed to be detailed or anything like that. So I'm gonna hate my weekly hate on CGI, and I didn't like the fact that every single cop basically on the payroll was fucking corrupt.
Right?
Like the whole department showed up, and she's just like the only one that's not corrupt. It's like,
yeah, it was like her and her sister that worked for the FBI that was just hanging out in like the city police station all the time.
Yeah, somehow it just turned into fucking Serpico. I don't know. And Chad's favorite part, I can't believe you haven't mentioned yet in your title there, your little name.
Yeah, see, that was always the funny thing to me. Like as soon as they fucking started doing the "fuck you, Kyle" joke, like that shit, I probably watched this movie about 4 or 5 times. I'm not gonna lie, but then every fucking time that happens, whenever like she's like, "You say fuck yous," and then the guy's like, "You say fuck you to me all the time. Fuck you, Kyle." And then later on, fucking dude's like, "You're gonna give up my parking spot," and he's like, "Fuck you, Kyle." Like I want to know who the fuck Kyle was.
Right.
Like what did Kyle do to piss everybody off? Where's the sequel for Kyle's point of view? Some shit had to go down.
That had to be Chad's favorite part, because I remember as soon as we came out of the theater, he was saying that. He's like, "Fuck you, Kyle."
So fucking good.
So fucking good.
But there was like a lot of awkward moments too between like her and her sister. Like there's just shit you didn't really care about.
Yeah,
you don't give a fuck about the subplot kind of deal. Like you didn't care about the background.
I think you guys were hating on her and everything like that. The character, that didn't really do much. I think that was one of the things. It's like they didn't want to spend too much time on her, but at the same time, they didn't build that relationship between her and her sister to where you gave a shit. At the end, whenever the sister gets taken and everything goes down. So it's like
you either put more in it to where we care about the characters, or just cut that shit out to where it's not like gunking the movie up. It's like.
And I think they went the better route, because the focus is on the comedy and the horror, and it doesn't have to be that serious. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm so invested in the character or anything like that. So that's why she's kind of a throwaway character. That's how she was written.
Like it feels like there was more, but it probably got cut out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
kind of keep the pace going.
More
the
appreciated
way it was. Yeah.
Because like the scenes with her in them were usually like the slower type scenes, aside from like the fucking restaurant like crazy scene, wherever he's chopping off fucking people's arms with silver dinner platters.
Yeah.
And fucking,
I don't know. I feel like the apartment scene was probably the most, action and everything, gore, action, everything. That's like the climax almost. I don't know. Even more so than the end. I don't know. Maybe.
Really? I don't know. They're both pretty good.
That apartment scene though was so long.
Yeah, I think because it was such a high body count. Like, how many fucking people did he end up killing there?
Probably at least 20.
I wonder if we can pull that up. Let me see if I can.
Whenever he started fucking throwing torn off arms like spears and sticking them in people, I was like,
right,
all right. I'm like, I know where this is going now. Like that's whenever you know how goofy it really is.
Yeah.
Like they just kept doing crazy shit like that, and it was just fucking like whenever he jumps off the thing and like rides the one dude, he's like standing on the guy's back as he's fucking falling down between the floors, and he just kind of like looks at her and waves or whatever.
He steals the kid's ant farm, which I knew was coming, but it
you're
was
a mean man.
Yeah,
yes,
when
I
he does it, it was still funny.
Yeah, that's a good scene too.
Because earlier in the movie, when they showed the ant farm, it was like, okay, that's going to come. It's like when you show a gun in Act 1, it has to go off in Act 3 kind of thing.
Right.
They showed the ant farm, and it's like, okay.
Well, like he helped the kid with the ant farm and shit. And he just goes in there and just. Yeah,
he just puts stuff.
I'm just gonna chug all these ants in this fucking sand or dirt or whatever the fuck. That
Makes
shit was
sense.
too funny.
It was good.
Well, they don't have it broken down by film. Apparently, there's 102 total deaths in the film, and Renfield was responsible for 51 of them.
See, it's funny. I love it.
Dracula had 34, and Rebecca had 12, which was Awkwafina.
Wow, she had 12. Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize she had that many either.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of her much, but I really love her water.
I don't know. It has some kind of additive in it, so it won't freeze. So I don't know about that one.
Freeze. I
mean, on a hot day, whatever. It was a joke. Judge me.
I like her cousin Gatorade better.
Gatorade.
Cable guy. The way you said it reminded me of that.
So where would you put Nick Cage in your rankings of all the actors that have portrayed Dracula?
Oh wow,
that's a tough one.
That is, because we've had a lot of great actors fucking play Dracula.
3.
I mean, nobody beats Leslie Nielsen.
Dead and Loving
That's
It.
so fucking good.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
He's down there a little bit. I don't know if he'd be top 10 or
He's
not.
way the fuck down there. I was just kidding, guys.
I'm just saying he's definitely like not top 10 or anything.
No.
Did Dave just say
Nicolas
3?
Cage.
I think he did.
Who?
He's not
fucking right. I'm not feeling.
He's a little warm. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Who's number 1? Who's your number 1? Dracula.
Bella.
Number 1 Dracula?
Everybody on the same page, Bella?
Well, it kind of depends on what you like. Well,
you just got to pick one.
I don't know, man. Christopher Lee was pretty good.
That's where I'm at. I'm thinking Christopher Lee for me, personally.
Oh shit.
Well, if you're going with Dracula, like or like
maybe Gary Oldman. I love Gary
Oldman. You can count Max Schreck. You know.
I was gonna say that's my favorite vampire is Nosferatu. Max Schreck, and dude from Salem's Lot. I think was one of the scariest vampires.
Are we talking vampires or are we talking Dracula?
They hold the whole idea of Dracula, but actual Dracula.
Yeah, we're going with Dracula.
Man, it is kind of a toss up, like between Bella and Christopher Lee, though.
John Carradine.
Satanic Rise of Dracula is some awesome shit.
We were talking straight vampires. They go to my boy right here.
Yeah.
That's my favorite vampire.
Yeah, because that's going to be a really long list if we're talking about vampires. Just like
oh yeah.
That's a tough one. I'd have to.
That is a tough one.
I'm going to be thinking about that all night now.
I mean, fuck, because Rutger Hauer. You ever watch the
Dracula
2000? Argento's Dracula?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I just know that Rutger Hauer plays him, so I almost forgot about
that scene. Yeah,
He does good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like he does a good one too. I forgot about
that. He does well. Yeah, I don't know.
Jack Palance played Dracula once.
He did.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that played Dracula. Yeah, besides the ones that we all know, you know, or we all. Huh?
Gerard Butler.
What was that in?
That was which one was that? It was the Dracula 2000.
Oh.
Oh fuck! I thought that was him.
I saw it once. I don't remember.
It's weird because you go back and look at it. He's got the long hair. You're not used to seeing him with long hair like that.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was them either. But I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
Yeah.
That's a long list.
There's been quite a few that have covered that role. Not always good, but.
Well, let us know in the chat. Leave a comment. Who's your favorite Dracula? Kind of curious.
Al Lewis. From the Munsters. No. Bella's got to be number one. In my book. Fuck him.
I mean, it's not a bad one. I mean, that he is kind of like, you know, he was the one
when you think of Dracula, he's the image.
He is.
That's for sure.
I mean, you can't forget about William Marshall.
Billy Marshall.
Blackula.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it does. I mean, he is a Dracula.
Yeah, I love those fucking movies. Both of them.
Yep.
Was it Scream Black and
Scream? Yeah.
With those on VHS somewhere.
Jason had those. Just watch it.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
He's not actually Dracula.
He's not actually Dracula in that, though.
No, he's just a vampire.
I'm talking about actual Dracula. If we're going with just vampires, like I can just go ahead and
that's going to be a ton. That's going to be a long ass list.
That's a whole show.
That's a whole show. So just Draculas. I mean, you know, but we realized that Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee are the best. I mean, it's just they both are holding hand in hand.
And to me, the only reason why I would pick Lee over is just because I grew up watching Hammer films. I mean, I watched the Universal too, but like, I watched that when I was really young, and I watched the Hammer movies when I was like really getting into horror films. You know what I mean? So like if you say Dracula, the image is Bela Lugosi, but I prefer, I think, the Christopher Lee movies. You know, of the portrayal. But for the image and just everything that we kind of think about Dracula is totally Bela, like all the way. You know, from just like the accent, the way he looks, the walk, everything about it is. I mean, even Christopher Lee took his shit from Bela. I mean, as far as the outfit and the kind of the idea. Yeah. So it's just like you gotta give it up for.
See, you also got to put in the factor of the era and when the movie came out too. Like, I mean, back in the day, like that was a shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And I still love the Universal, but you know,
still fun. Still fun one.
The Hammer films just hold a special place in my heart.
The Hammer films are a little bit more. They're a little more intense. The old ones, they're a little bloodier. They have boobs.
Well, just
they're a little more fucked up.
You know,
what I'm saying? Like
they're just more fucked up. Just strange. You know, compared to like the stories are just weird. And there's multiples. Like you know, besides Frankenstein of the old Universal, all you have of Dracula is Dracula. Yeah. You know, at least in the Hammer films, you had multiple Dracula films, so you just got more of it. Yeah. And a bunch of them were Christopher Lee. So it's like you just got more, you know, of the character. So I think that's why I like that.
Which I got to also say, though, one of my favorite times that Bela Lugosi played Dracula, though, is one of my favorite comedies of all time. And I still watch this movie and I still crack up. Is shit, I'm drawing a blank. Abbott Costello being Frankenstein.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that movie still holds up. It's so funny. But I mean, you know, Bela Lugosi, how many Dracula movies was he? Was it just or where he was Dracula? But wasn't there like
I thought there was another one.
Wasn't he in?
Maybe I'm thinking. I might be thinking of Frankenstein.
Wolfman meets Dracula or some shit. Frankenstein, Dracula, or whatever. Because he was.
I don't know if that was him though.
But no, because he played the wolf, or he played Frankenstein in one of them.
Yeah, he didn't play Dracula.
He didn't play Dracula. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. All right.
4 times.
Yeah.
4 times.
So I guess. Huh?
He played Dracula 4 times in his career. Lugosi.
Which movies?
Oh,
Which all movies?
Played a vampire in film 4 times. Oh wait, only twice as Count Dracula. I'm sorry, a vampire 4 times and twice as Count Dracula. Dracula and 1931 and Abbott and Costello meeting Frankenstein.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
right?
It is.
I need to go back and watch that.
We
We
do
should
that
talk
one
about it
night.
one night.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. We should do
Why
that
not?
one night.
We'll do classics.
Even
like
do
that.
like a versus night.
I wouldn't even be opposed to doing a Universal night because I love my Universal monsters.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Creature's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The Creature.
I think either Creature or Brian is my favorite.
Yeah, I used to love I got a VHS copy of that movie when I was a kid at Hills, actually.
The way that movie's fucking filmed is amazing.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of the fucking swamp.
Yeah, all the underwater
Alligators and
scenes.
shit going everywhere.
That's one movie. If they ever remake that movie, they better not fuck it up.
Oh, they've been talking about remaking that one for decades now.
Yeah.
But if they do it, they need to bring back the Fishman outfit from Monster Squad because
That was the best. That was the closest.
that was the coolest one. Yeah.
And that movie was a throwback to Universal anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that was,
So,
in my opinion, that was the last time they actually did a Universal monster right.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot about
absolutely.
that. What was his name? Fred Decker, I believe, played Dracula in that one. Yeah, he did a good job too, actually.
yeah, that's
they
right.
all did. I mean,
And
I mean, the
I
thing
think
is
that
kinda funny
the Wolfman and the Wolfman transformation was
One of my
the phone
favorites.
booths.
It's,
Oh man.
I was when he blew up and his hand, like his body starts.
Oh
getting-
yeah, that was so cool, right?
Yeah, it's like shit. It wasn't Silver that killed him, so that could kill him. It's like, oh, that's fucking great. You never think of it like that. But I mean, like talking about the Hammer films, though, thinking about how Frankenstein looked, how the monster looked, or whatever, in Monster Squad, it kind of looked more like the Hammer films version of Frankenstein.
Because Monster Squad was just an updated Universal.
Yeah,
It took Dracula, the Wolfman, all the classics, even the Mummy. And just updated them. And just
yeah.
The Creature, that probably was one of the cooler designs.
Yeah.
Look believable.
That's why Stan Winston is one of the most legendary makeup artists there is.
No,
But even the makeup in this movie looked good. Like whenever fucking he's all like
There they go.
decrepit and decayed and rotting and shit after he gets fucking burnt by the sun. Like all that makeup, it looks fucking amazing. Whenever he fucking pops his vein to fucking heal Renfield's stomach.
Yeah.
Like all that shit looked really good.
Like look at
And
that.
you could tell that was an actual like real effect and not some CG shit.
A+ for all those creature designs. Even
Oh,
though
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they all looked great.
Have we
Are you
done a
good?
Monster Squad yet?
I don't. We talked about it roughly, but
it comes up a lot, but I don't think we've ever had a whole episode.
we'll have to have
on it.
classic night.
We'll have to have a classic
Classic
night and we'll
month.
talk about it as well. Yeah.
Turner Classics.
There you go. Video store classic movies.
There we go. Video Store Classics.
And it sucks, because modern, the kids nowadays, they're not like you said. You guys sat down and watched what the other night, Chuck? You and your son watched something. You said at the beginning,
Dracula.
Oh, Dracula.
Dracula.
the original one.
Yeah.
And it's just like these kids nowadays, man. They've seen so much other shit that they don't get to appreciate as much as we did. We're a dying breed, man. And fucking, it's like, kids. They've got their video games. They got all kinds of fucking CGI, fucking all kinds of weird shit out there. And it's like everything else is like the old, like fucking Charlie Chaplin type shit to them.
Yeah, you need some
fucking-
like old. Like I think the old practical effects look way better than any CGI I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Like
like I mean, again, look at this.
And they got to. I mean, it's like
Look at that.
how much do the practical effects cost? I mean, is it just the fact that they don't want to fucking take the time, or what? Because it seems like they spend a shit ton of money on CGI. I don't know why they wouldn't just go to practical route. They were talking fucking. We were just talking about the new Indiana Jones film, and I was giving it shit on our review about the CGI. But I forgot to mention that the like the deep fake type thing that they did, the re-imaging they did to make de-aging. Making him the de-aging they did on Harrison Ford. They said that shit took 2 years to do.
See,
and they had like
if it took that long, though, they could have at least went back and de-aged his voice, because he sounded like a fucking 80-year-old man with a 30-year-old face.
Yeah, that's what I hated about that.
It's kind of crazy, though.
The de-aging I thought looked amazing. I was like, that's probably some of the best de-aging I've seen on film.
From the scenes of the movie that I've seen, like, that's pretty amazing. Like, you kind of like, oh wow, that's a new scene. Okay, it's kind of impressive. Yeah, I can understand that a little bit more, but. Like, yeah, why not just use practical effects instead of? It just looks better that way, man. It does.
Yeah. Okay. So they're saying the report was it took 100+ visual effects, industrial light and magic artists to de-age Harrison Ford.
They probably held them all hostage. They held them all hostage in a warehouse somewhere and made them fucking do that shit. And it's just like, why?
Over 100 special effects people working for 3 years to do that.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't know how you can get like that many people working on one image on a computer. Seems a little I don't know.
That's a fat paid person that does that.
I don't know the process, so who knows? It's fucking. I'm sure it's tough. I give all them guys props for the shit they do. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I went to school for this shit, and here I am not doing any of that shit. So I give all them guys props that actually got out there and made it. You know what I mean?
The future is going to be fucked up, man. You're not even going to have real actors anymore. There's going to be some AI that's created. You know, they've taken the image of Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or any actor or actress, and they've recreated it and thrown it on some kind of fucking AI thing. And you don't need real people to act anymore. You don't need anything. The future's fucked.
I mean, look at Avatar. Avatar's a whole movie, fucking nothing but CG. Just people running around in green suits.
Look at
because I hate to sound like the old man, but kids today just don't know. Like when I was a kid in grade school, in our library, we had children's books of all the Universal monsters.
Yeah,
and that's how I first they were in those orange. They had orange covers on them, like fucking Halloween.
Yeah, I've got 4 or 5 of those right now.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to see them. I want to see that shit.
Next time I come on, remind me. I'm bringing one just to show.
Yeah.
Oh, because they were like 15, 20 pages with pictures, and it was just like a short summary of the story. It was like perfect. That's how I first got introduced to them.
I remember King Kong and Dracula, and just a ton of the old Universal stuff, man.
Man, we grew up in a fucking great time.
I think so too.
Yeah. It's
we
right
also know what it's like if all the towers and phones and fucking shit just broke, we'd all be able to survive. These kids today would be fucking in like the psych.
What do I do?
Right.
What do I do?
What do you mean I can't get on my phone? That's not a thing. Oh fuck.
We were like right at the cusp of like a lot of good ideas, but technology hadn't taken over yet. So you had like real film and real writers and all this stuff, but it was still kind of different and weird. You know, it's way different than now for sure. But like we were right there, between the 80s and mid 90s was just like, I don't know, right before things got shitty.
There's a lot of good ideas.
It's just like before, like CGI was taking over movies and all stuff, so it had to be practical because nobody could do it, so it had to be, But I think we grew up in like basically the golden age of film. I think at this point.
There was one person that made decisions too that greenlit movies. It wasn't like a boardroom or shareholders or publicly traded bullshit or none of that. There was one person that made decisions and greenlit movies, and that's why we got things like Star Wars, Police Academy, and the list goes on and on.
Right.
And now today we just got sequels and remakes.
Yeah, not only film but music as well. I mean,
music maybe even worse.
Yeah.
I think once the internet became prolific, that it kind of killed both industries, as far as creativity. Now anybody with a computer can make a song. Back when we were growing up, you had to go to a studio. I mean, people still go to studios, obviously, but I mean, you could only go to a studio and record. You're on there, like, only the best, kind of rose to the surface. you know, and that's why we got so many great artists of our time. And now it's like everybody's just a one-hit wonder. Everybody's just a fucking YouTube, TikTok, fucking hot minute motherfucker. And that it's always going to be that way from now on. It's like everybody just wants that moment of time.
There's definitely
Go ahead.
There's definitely good and bad to it. I think, you know, it's like it lets people get things out. You know what I mean? Chuck just put his book out. You may not have been able to get in a fucking some sort of bigger press to get that out. So I think there's benefits to the way that technology has kind of changed things, but for the most part, I think it's hurt things. I mean, there's a few, you know, those of us trying to do creative stuff out. I mean, this show and different things that like we might not have an avenue for back then, but it's like I don't know. Well, that's it. You know, back then, like you said, you had to really kind of be better to get above all this kind of just mediocrity. Now I think everything is so mediocre, and it's like you can still find good stuff.
That's because you had to have real talent to actually get noticed back then.
Now you can still find really good stuff, music and movies, but now you have to dig for it. You have to like swim through just piles of shit to find like a couple good songs or a new good movie or something. You know, it's like there's so much competition now, and just so many people just putting it out because there's money behind it.
Yeah,
you don't just have people, you know, doing stuff because they want to. It's doing stuff because they can get famous on TikTok, or they can do these like, you know, whatever. Before it's more about, hey, I want to make this story, I want to do this, whatever. And now it's just, hey, I see some quick money, or I don't know. It's just there's a lot of bullshit that goes along.
Unless you're in Bastard Sons of a Judas Code, that is not your way. We know that we're not making money.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Because
we like what we do.
Well,
so there are still some stuff.
You're doing what you want. That's what I'm saying. And you just, you know, you just got to weed through so much trash now.
Yeah, I miss the days of making flyers. I miss the days of finding out about you know this movie and that movie, like you know this band, that band, like through magazines. You know that was kind of nice. You know, it was kind of cool to be able to. You know, because now you find a band like in 5 seconds, everybody else knows that band too. Yeah, there's not too many bands that are my band these days. You know what I mean?
Well, we were just talking about like old Fangos. It's like you used to be able. The only way that I knew anything was coming out with new horror movies was the new Fangoria, or I just go to my video store and we're just looking at the racks like, oh shit, I haven't seen this movie. So it's like some of the like the fun of finding that stuff, like those hidden gems, has been lost a little bit, you know.
And remember, we used to have to wait so long for a movie to come out on video. I mean, it would be up to a year sometimes. It'd be 9 months to a year before it came out on video.
It's like I used to always get subscriptions to Fango and Thrasher and like a couple other like skate and like monster magazines back in the day. But like now, like I mean, I think the only one still really around is Fango, right?
Yeah, they're back now. Yeah. But there was some shit that went on or something that went on with them or some shit. I don't remember what it was a while back, but they came back, had some issues, and like
there's some problem shit out
there. They're still keeping it alive though. I'm glad
they still make paper magazines.
For the younger guys, Fango is short and old school for Fangoria.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one.
But Chuck,
some old horror lingo.
Chuck, they've had issues for years. But no, Whitman makes a good point. You know, I think that might even be the bigger issue nowadays is that there's just too much content. And, you know, it was like back when we were growing up, it's like you only had maybe a couple dozen channels, you know, something like that. If you were lucky. Yeah. And it's like everybody was tuning in to certain stuff. Like everybody knew Seinfeld, whether or not you watched it or not. Everybody was tuned in because, that's the hot show on this time slot on this day of the week. So everybody knew about it and everybody could talk about it. And it could be larger than life TV show. Now there's 50 million options where, you know, a lot of people are like, hey, have you seen this show? It's really great. And they're like, no, I've never even heard of it. You know, and it's just because there's so much content out there. Right. And I don't know if we'll even have like mega stars like we did growing up. You know, it's like, when's the last time we had like a big blockbuster movie star or music star or anything like that? It's kind of a lot of fly by night people or people that have been around before, you know? it's
That's
just
like me and Dave talked before too about like, I mean, how many scripts and shit he's wrote and how many movies we were trying to make back in the day whenever we were like between 18 and 25.
Who do I take this to? What do I do with it?
Just trying to rent the equipment and shit. Like now the fucking your cell phones
phone.
have better.
Yeah.
Like your phone has better picture than the old cameras that you would rent. That's like actually professional equipment.
Yep.
So I mean that
So
like
I can rent these 2 cameras, these 2 monitors, this this mixing board, or I could just pick up my phone. And,
I mean, back in the day, we were going to do a Star Wars type movie, and fucking we looked up the pricing to rent the cameras and shit, and it was over.
$5,000.
Yeah, it was like $5-6 grand, and that was only for like a month.
That was at the college that I went to,
right?
And they still charged me $5 grand for 2 cameras and a monitor. Fuck you!
And you had to get it all filmed in a month.
Yeah, I think we could only have. How long was it? It was like
I think it was
a couple
days,
days,
6 weeks. I thought.
Oh, was it that long?
So we did film one Star Wars. Remember that, Dave?
Yes. Does that tape still exist?
Oh, it does. And I wanted my money. I always meant to fucking show it. I meant to show it to Kevin Smith because we were like fucking, I don't know, 14.
It was right when the special editions came out, I think.
It was a New Year's Eve, and we're all like 14 or whatever, and we're all had like a hangout the one night, and we decided to film this movie called Star Whores. And then Kevin Smith ended up using it in Zack and Miri, but it was just us making fun of Star Wars, basically.
I was really curious what this movie entails since it was called.
It has nothing to do with prostitution or whores or anything like that. It's just
Well,
it's basically
no
us. It was just us taking the characters' names and turning them into silly parodies. You know, I think the one was Obi-Wan can blow me. You know, stuff like that.
And Master Oda was like a deadbeat.
Puke shit talker. Yeah. So, it's just us being kids, being goofy, but it exists. I don't know if we can even show that to the
Probably
public.
Not. And that's the other thing. There's so much content, but at the same time, we're in this cancel culture. It is just sooner or later is going to be what they call a tipping point, I believe.
I think that's when the AI
might be coming.
Takes over.
They might be coming. Because what is it next month? Skynet?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Skynet goes live.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's a scary.
Oh, anyway.
That's scary
shit.
On that note.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on Renfield before we fire up the random clip generator?
I think
Check
it's a
it
fun
out.
film if you haven't seen it, and if you're afraid to see Nick Cage, if you're not a Nick Cage fan,
this might turn you.
I think you still may like it. Like, I know, like that's why I don't think this movie did real great because everybody was kind of like, it's the first movie since Nick Cage is done on big screen since fucking forever since he made that other shitty movie, and then I mean, it can steer you away, but definitely go check it out, especially if you got Peacock. Like, you're not going to regret it. You're going to laugh. You're going to have a good time. Even if you put it on as just background noise, you still get the gist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's fun.
It's another one of those ones that I don't think it did well because the horror comedies just don't do well with audiences for whatever reason. But I love them. It's like, we always, we've talked about this before, Chad, with Club Dread. It's one of those ones that a lot of people don't like. And I like that film.
I think it's Broken Lizard's best film.
Me too.
I don't know about that, but I like it. But the horror comedy genre, it's hit or miss with the audiences on those.
It's a weird one.
And this one, regardless of if you look at it as a Nick Cage performance or whatever, if you're a Dracula fan, I think it has stuff in it that you'll appreciate. And if you're a comedy fan, you'll definitely enjoy it. And horror, there's not so much horror. It's more of like we said, over the top gore.
Thanks,
a lot of action and killings. So it's action packed. It's funny, and it has those elements that you'll probably enjoy if you like Dracula or anything along those lines. So definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
it's a fast paced film too. So I mean,
and I have to comment earlier. Mike said that Oh, well, I don't know if I'd watch it again or whatever. I think it has complete rewatchable qualities. And I plan on watching it. I meant to actually give it a rewatch before this episode, but I see myself watching it at least once or twice the next couple of months. Like I enjoy it.
To me, it's a good summer film.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's fast paced. It's got good, just it hits all the little nerves right. It's fun. Just sit back and just the color, the way it was shot, it's just a good summertime. Just good shit. Yeah, it's like a blockbuster movie for a horror fan.
How's your battery look, Chuck?
How's your battery, Chuck? Your audio's a little off. How's your battery?
It's getting low, but it isn't too bad.
Okay,
yet.
now you're back.
Oh, now you're good. Now you're good.
You
I
just
guess you just had to touch it.
It's just one spot.
Just touch it.
That sounded dirty.
Just touch it.
Just touch it. Just touch it.
Well said. I have nothing more to add to that. I still think it's a fun movie. I will also be rewatching it.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. But now comes the part, and if you stayed with us this late, even during the uncomfortable silences we had this evening, which I apologize for, but we'll get back in the groove, folks. Don't worry about it. It's what we do. But for now, we are going to fire up the random clip generator. And if you don't know what that is this beautiful machine right here that will give us a random clip from a random movie, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Wow.
Wasn't expecting that. That was all right.
I think the random clip generator broke.
That was good.
Was that Happy Feet?
Wow.
That was a prequel.
No, I summon penguins.
Linguini.
Linguini. Now I want some linguini.
Oh,
That was good.
Bye. And also, before we go, we are so honored, proud, and happy for our boy Chuck Nasty for sharing with us.
There it is.
Yep.
His first novel, ladies and gentlemen.
Novella.
Novella, sorry.
First book.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, it's up there. You're good.
Okay. It's just not up here on our end. Well, that's a Penguini.
Penguin.
That was in reference to the clip, not the book.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it could be in reference to the book. Like, what in the actual hell? Like, what kind of sadistic mind created this novella?
Oh boy.
Chuck Nasty's first novella is available on Amazon. Link, as always, is in the description. Just click on that
Paperback.
and get
As
yourself
well
a copy.
as, Kindle Unlimited and paperback on Amazon. And my first actual novel, second release, will be out. The way I'm being told, like here in the next week or two, you'll be ready. So
it's always a week or two.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh.
It's getting closer, but House of Flesh will be out real soon too. But yeah, Thursday, check it out. Spread the word on it, and yeah.
Spread the word. By the way, it's $9 and a penny on Amazon. So there you go. It's an easy read. Yeah, after tax.
Okay.
Tax.
No deal. No deals for Prime Day.
Mm-hmm.
No deals for Prime Day. Today's Prime Day at Amazon.
Oh, I didn't know it's Prom Day. I had no idea. I didn't know what the fuck that is. That's
You get some special
I've been off my phone all day.
Oh yeah. Well, it is also 7-Eleven. So did you go to 7-Eleven and get your free Slurpee?
We went, but we didn't get one.
Yeah, we didn't get a free Slurpee.
Well,
we don't have 7-Eleven. We don't have a 7-Eleven.
Jesus Christ. It's all ruined.
I don't think they do anymore.
Strange.
I
We're
just had my
sorry.
blood.
Yeah, we'll get back in the groove, folks. Don't worry about it. Well, we thank you for joining us, and we thank Whitman for hanging out with us again. It's always
for
good
having
to see you, sir.
Always a
And-
pleasure.
Thanks for coming around. Hey, what's going on next week, guys?
Jurassic Pork, right?
No.
No?
Come on, Dave.
Oh,
What's in the
shit.
box?
What's in the fucking box? It's 7!
Oh yeah, we already want to say yeah.
What's in
That's
the
my
box?
That will be the 1997 Morgan Freeman Brad Pitt classic. I'm sure you've seen it.
I
One
hope
of my
so.
If you haven't seen 7, fucking go watch it right now and come back and fucking chill with us next week because it's gonna be awesome.
And then
Yeah,
the week after
aggressively,
that is
aggressively
Jurassic
come hang out with us next week.
Right.
Jess is excited.
What's in your mouth, Jack?
My grill.
The grill.
My grill.
So yes, folks, 7 next week and Jurassic Park the week after. I apologize. I apologize for me in this whole episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you really fucked it up.
I'm sorry.
It's
The whole
okay,
thing up.
David.
Live, folks. Nothing can go wrong if you're
It's
alive.
okay.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Ow.
If anybody's familiar with how these shows go, if we are off for a week, we're off when we come back.
We're fucked. Yeah.
We're all
Gotta readjust. Gotta
We're
readjust.
still fun to hang with though.
Yeah, we're always fun.
recalculate.
Just a little
We're
kooky.
always fun. And yes, don't forget to give our boy Whitman a follow on Facebook under Whitman Photography.
Appreciate it.
And if I didn't say that right again, I apologize, but that's why I put the link in the description as well. See, I think ahead.
Perfect.
But
You're doing
thank you
good,
all for
brother.
joining us. We are your Video Store Clerks. This is the Video Store Clerks podcast. We will see you next Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern with the 7.